Good afternoon and welcome back to the workbench on a lovely wet and freezing Friday. I'm just mucking around with my cordless phone here. This is a quick video about this. So this is a what is it? Uniden something in it, something or other. Anyway, it's got answer phone in it and cordless phone. Basic thing. Actually, I think that'll probably be in here. What it is? It's a XSA650NZ. Obviously the permitted version for New Zealand, but I'm sure it's sold in many other countries. Anyway, I got a problem with it, which has been occurring for some time, which I've only just now bothered to do anything about it. So, as typical with cordless phones, it has charging things on here, and these connect with these little contacts here that go through the front plate, and these little holes here. So these little springy contacts stick up through these holes like this, and when you put the phone on it, they get pushed down and have some sort of tension on them from this springy material there, which all makes perfect sense. The problem is these contacts are a bit dirty now, and oftentimes what happens is when the phone rings, I think the vibration caused by the speaker in the base unit actually interrupts the connection between these contacts here and these contacts here for charging the battery, and the phone thinks that you've picked it up, and so it answers, but there's no one actually there. So yeah, quite annoying. People will hear the phone answer, but they try to talk to you, but there's no one actually there because it just answered by itself. And of course, the manual tells you to, clean the contacts regularly to maintain good performance. But the annoying thing with these is because they're quite springy and they bend down like this, you can't really clean them from the outside. As soon as you get something to push down on these, to try and wipe them with or anything, they just disappear down the hole. So it's completely impossible. Obviously, you can clean the ones on here relatively easily, but not the ones there. So I've had to take the thing apart to actually clean them properly. So I've got these little rubber covers there, I guess, to stop dust going down the hole in the front of the unit or whatever. So obviously I just pulled that off this one. That's it here. It's just like a little flat rubber washer thing. So I'm just going to just clean this up a little bit. So obviously the thing with these is you don't want to use anything abrasive or anything like that, because you risk taking the plating off, and if you take the plating off, these things are just going to rust or corrode or whatever, and then the whole thing's ruined. So yeah, you don't want to do anything like that. I mean, this stuff only has like just gunk on it. It's not like really oxidized or anything or tarnished, because it is plated with quite a good finish or whatever it is that they've used, chrome or something maybe, I don't know, nickel, I'm not sure. Anyway, whatever it is, it's quite good, but there was just dirt on there from just, this thing's probably like 20 years old or something, I don't know. Anyway, and speaking about that, actually, good point about the battery pack. You can't really buy the battery packs for this anymore. If you can, they're incredibly expensive, not worth bothering with. So I just built my own last time. I just bought these little batteries here, nickel cadmium, half AA size, or 2/3 AA, sorry, 600 milliamp hour, and I just soldered 3 of those in series and wrapped some sellotape around it and chuck on the wires that I stole off the old pack that had failed. So yeah, it works quite well. Just got to make sure to keep these solder tabs nice and flat and tight next to the body of the battery, so you can actually get the back cover back on. If you wrap this up too big, it won't fit. But yeah, it actually works quite well. It's been working fine for the last few years. So quite nice. Yeah, you can rebuild battery packs for these things, and that was actually about 4 times cheaper than buying a pre-made pack. It was like a few dollars to get those cells, and would have cost like $30 to buy a pre-made one. So yeah, because this is an old phone now, you don't get them very often. So yeah, they're not that common to get, and so they're more expensive now. But anyway, back to cleaning these contacts. So I think first thing I'll try is using this eraser here. So I just like hold the thing flat and just just rub the end of it. Really, I mean, there's nothing more to say with that. That'll just rub off any sort of accumulated dirt and gunk and everything, and should shine that up quite well. Yeah, don't really need to worry about the sides because that's not where it contacts to the actual phone. You could clean that if you wanted to, but it's not really much point, except maybe on this end because that is the side that faces the phone contact. But yeah, I mean, that should be good enough. You could use maybe contact cleaner or something if it's a very mild one. I do have this stuff here, electrical clean. It's designed really for switches and stuff. It does leave like an oil on there to stop oxidization. I don't know if that would be good on here. It might just cause the problem again, but with the oil instead of dust. So I wouldn't actually want to use this, but you could probably get cleaning ones that don't have the lube in it. Just the contact cleaner by itself, it should probably work quite well. But obviously, you know, making sure you take these rubber seals off first and making sure the thing is perfectly clean before you put them back on. Otherwise, it might attack those and deteriorate them or something. The other thing you could do, I mean, if the thing was, you know, actually starting to oxidize or tarnish or something, you could probably get away with some of this Scotch-Brite stuff, this nylon abrasive pad thing. Pretty mild, not really recommended for something like this. You know, I would only do it as like a last worst case attempt, you know, because this could damage the plating as well, even though it's still quite mild. But yeah, if the things are oxidized too much, it might be worth trying that. If something, you know, something good like deoxit doesn't work, you could do that. But you know, wouldn't use sandpaper or file or anything. If you started filing that, you just take all the coating off, and then it's going to be ruined. It's just going to rust. So don't do that. But for most cases, I think this eraser should work, just to shine up the end of it, get that nice and clean. So yeah, you can also do it the other way, holding the thing and doing it like that. But you know, ultimately you don't want to rip these wires off. Just make sure you don't do that. I mean, you can resolder them on if you do, but it's just annoying. So anyway, that's a lot nicer. I don't know if you can see the difference between those. Should be obvious that the one on the left is quite shiny and the one on the right is still rather dull because I haven't cleaned it yet. So yeah, that's probably all that really makes a difference, because the things aren't, you know, in very bad condition. They've just got a surface layer of dirt on them that's causing intermittent contact with the phone. And I clean those as well. Just to make sure that's good. I mean, it's kind of obvious that that's the problem anyway, because sometimes I have to wiggle the handset around to get it to actually start charging. It doesn't charge immediately when you put it down as it should do. So yeah, there's that too. So I'll just buff this one up as well. And then, because the only problem with these is they do leave kind of a residue themselves, they're not the best thing for cleaning contacts in terms of being perfectly clean. They will get the dirt off, but they will leave like a residue on there. So it's got quite a bit of gunk on it. So once you've cleaned it up with whatever you're using, if you are using an eraser or something, it's probably a good idea to clean the residue of that off with some alcohol or something like that. So let's get some of this and clean that off. Make sure I get rid of that eraser residue. If the amount of residue on here is quite small to begin with, you could probably just get away with just the alcohol itself, but it will work as a solvent to dissolve the dissolve any basic grime. Alright, so now I've cleaned those up, let them evaporate off, I can put this thing back together. So I'll put the little rubber bits back on first. and then I'll put the whole thing back in the case. Actually, I should probably take a picture up close of this to show a comparison photo. That would be a good idea. Alright, so let's put this thing back together then. So these contacts just screw onto the front of here, taking sure they go around the right way, obviously. So that's round this way. These wires just tuck into these little guides, and then you've just got two basic screws to just hold these in place. Making sure that the positive one goes on that side and the negative one goes that side. You don't want to get them backwards. And then I just got to plug this ribbon cable here back in for the front bit. And there we go. Very simple. And it just clips back together. You can see those are nice and shiny, much shinier than they were before. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Then we just got 4 screws on the bottom, and clip this thing on the back, which is the wall mounting adapter thing. Let's put the screws back in. Can put this thing back on. Just clips up under there like that, and then goes down here. To take it off, you've got a little squeeze. You just squeeze the side here and lift it up, just in case you need to know how to do that. Alright, so this thing wants, what does it want? 9 volts, center positive. So let's just bring that down to about 9 volts. Let me just check that voltage to be sure. There we go, 8.5. Okay, put it up a little bit. There we go. 9 volts, center positive. That should be fine. There we go. Comes up. And if I put this on here, you should see that's the charging light there. That one? No, that one. This one. Sorry, yep, that one there. This should come up straight away as soon as I put this on. Which it does. And if I jiggle that round, I can jiggle it up and down and the light doesn't go off. Previously, if I'd done this before, that light would be flickering the whole time I'm doing this, so proves the connection is much better than it was. So there we go. That should hopefully have solved the problem, assuming that my theory is correct and that that's actually what was wrong with it. But there definitely was a problem with that connection there, and there definitely isn't anymore. So I suspect that should work now. Excellent. But yes, when the manual says it's important to keep the battery contacts cleaned, well, they're pretty much right. It's just really annoying to actually do that with this thing. As you can see, as soon as you try and clean them, they just disappear down the hole there, so it's kind of hard to do anything rather than vaguely kind of maybe clean the top part slightly, but yeah, it just vanishes down there and it's pretty difficult. So yeah, especially when the thing contacts on the edge rather than the top, so you really need to clean this kind of edge corner there on the side. So it is much easier to just take the thing apart and clean them that way, and obviously don't forget to clean these ones as well. But yeah, just an eraser, take an eraser to it, give it a good clean, and clean the eraser residue off with alcohol or something. It's pretty much the easiest way to do it. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully that's fixed. Hopefully that's useful. See you next time.